Hey, if you're following this, you probably already know this, but I'm Ryan Hayden. I am a pastor here in Central Illinois. I'm also a web developer. It's something I've been doing for, a long time, since I was in college, well over 10 years. And for some reason, it really picked up about 3 years ago, and I've just done a lot more. And what I want to do is I want to, over the next, I don't know how long I'm going to commit to this, but maybe 30 days, I want to do a daily vlog and just kind of talk for a few minutes about what's going on in my life and what I'm doing, both at the church and with my businesses, and just kind of talk about stuff. And I'm going to try to be completely honest, 100%, just share what's going on and what I'm doing, and no gloss, no marketing, just straight up tell you what's going on. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, kind of the main thing that's occupying a lot of my attention right now, is a startup that I've been trying to launch for well over a year called Simple Church Tools. For a long time, I mostly did church websites. And a couple years ago, I got the bright idea, which didn't turn out to be very bright, that I was going to create a template-based church website system from scratch. And so I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort over the space of about a year trying to build something called Sites for Church. And it was a colossal failure. But through that, I learned all kinds of stuff. And one of the things that I think that we did really well at Sites for Church was come up with just a beautiful and clever way to host sermon content. And I thought it was the best that I'd seen. And so I had this idea in the back of my mind that I was going to, instead of do church websites, I was going to come up with some tools that could live on the web that didn't really exist yet and could complement a church and complement a church website. So I came up with this idea of Simple Church Tools. I bought the domain, and I started working on some very simple kind of prototypes. The first prototype that I made was a tool that used a product called Airtable to create a prayer list. And so I made this in a weekend. I got somebody to help me with it, and another developer to help me with it. I made it in a weekend. I released it for free. And overnight, basically, I just put this out there on a couple forums. And overnight, hundreds of pastors had signed up for it, literally hundreds. And I was like, wow, there's some interest here. And so I made another tool. I made a service planner. And I released that, and I tried to get people to pay for it. And a bunch of people in a very short period of time paid for it. So I thought, there's some interest here. And so at that point, I started building out like legitimate applications, not just Airtable and a website, but legitimate applications, starting from scratch, designing our own interfaces for these things. And that has taken me the better part of this year to do this. I think I started this process in, I want to say it was probably April. And it is now November or October. It's October. And I am just now getting to the point where these things are just like prime time ready. They're getting there. And so that is Simple Church Tools. Now, right now, we are doing a Kickstarter for the next 30 days. It's been on for about 24 hours now. And I've got $750 of a $2,000 goal. And again, being completely honest, $2,000 is the bare minimum. I would love to see $6,000 or $8,000 come in on this Kickstarter. And so that is that's our Kickstarter. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to take the money and use it so that we can focus on building out the rest of our tools. Like one of the things that we're working on right now, you can see here, is a new back-end menu. We're going to redo the entire back end to make it a lot cleaner. and finish our sermon tool and finish our planning tool. So that's what that money is going to go towards. So Kickstarter, Simple Church Tools. One other thing that I'm doing. So when I started all this, I kind of wanted to build a team. One of the things I learned the hard way is that you have to have a team of developers. I have been making websites for a long time, and I'm very good at a subset of it. And I've got a big, kind of big picture view of how everything works. But I realized that I can only do so much by myself working in my free time. And so I decided that it would be worth my investment to build a team. And to do that, I had to actually have something to occupy that team besides me just paying people all the time to work on my ideas. And so there was a lot of interest in Airtable, and I started a agency called Row and Table. And this is something that I do. I have 4 people that work for me. One of them is somebody very similar to myself in New Mexico, a guy that pastors a church and does this on the side in New Mexico. And then I have a designer and a developer that both live in Argentina. They don't know each other. They both work for me. And I have a developer that works for me that lives in India. Each one of those people is its own story, okay? But they work for me, and between us, me and my 4 guys, I feel like we can do anything. And we've done all kinds of really cool work. We've done some very kind of high design sort of websites. And we built a lot of tools for customers. Sort of our main thing is we build productivity tools for businesses. And the reason why I started both of these companies at the same time, like I said, is number one, I wanted to have a team, and I wanted my team to keep getting better. And if we're making software, then I need to have a team that can build software. And so I wanted that. But the second thing is, if you're starting a software as a service company, it's going to take a long time to bootstrap that. And I'm going to have money coming in to bootstrap that. And then as it's growing, even after it becomes, say, profitable, as it's growing, it's going to take a while before there's enough revenue coming in to pay for a software development team to just be working on it all the time. And I don't want to lose those guys. I want to have like a core group of people that I know are very good and can do stuff. And so that's sort of the idea behind Row and Table. Row and Table has basically financed everything that we've done so far. And it also gives me something that I can have my developers do, and we use it to do all kinds of work for causes that I agree with and are excited about. So that's what I've got going on. I'd love for you, if you're new to this, just to go to simplechurchtools.com or go to Kickstarter and look at Simple Church Tools. I'll have a link in the show notes. Consider backing this project, and I'm going to talk a little bit every day for the next 30 days about this whole journey and different ideas I have about software and that kind of stuff. So that's it.